Hi all, welcome to another shop talk. Just going to do a little what I've been up to at the moment. It's pretty busy here, but I've switched to a 5-day week, finishing a bit early as well. It's getting a bit mad work-wise here. It's not really fair on everyone, so I've switched to a 5-day week, which is why there was no video last week, because it does take quite a while to make these videos. But I've got some interesting stuff I've been doing. I've been out and collected another oak tree. I'm only halfway there with that oak tree. It's so big, I'm going to have to hire a lorry to pick the other bit up, but I'll show you some of that. So this sort of thing's really interesting for the kind of live edge, this crotch section here. Just kept a little bit to put the resin in and that. That's quite a nice log, really big log. Nice. And then in the trailer here, so what I've done, because we don't have a telehandler, and it's quite big, this stuff, it's probably a little bit overweight to be honest, but I'm going to take it straight to the sawmill, leave the truck hooked up, because if I disconnected that trailer I'd be in trouble. So what I've done is, I was a bit worried about my suspension and everything, so what we've done here is we just stuck the forklift under it just to give it a bit of a rest over the weekend. This is the other limbs, so you can see quite a lot has come off. Some interesting stuff there. That's got an interesting section as well. Let's have a look at that. I'll try and get that milled again across the crotch here to have a nice interesting style slab here. Some wonderful English oak. This was real middle of the field, no fences near it, so there'll be no nails in it. Lovely friend of mine, his father is the farmer, lovely man. And I sorted this out for him, got it down. And as I say, the main trunk is absolutely epic, probably the biggest I've ever had. I think my son measured it at one point, it's almost 2 meters across tall. So that's pretty cool. What else is going on? So this trailer which needs to go, you've been seeing that. That's now, I don't know if I've shown already, that's completely empty. Just waiting for the farmer to collect it. I bought a load of English oak planks, the ones at the back here. This is all local to me. So this oak tree, this was cut 10 years ago and has been air dried in that container. The moisture content on this is awesome. It's like 9 or 10 mostly. They're all quite thin boards. I think he's done 1.25 1.5 inches, which is a shame because there's not much variety, but I'm just slowly working through it. If I need any you know, pre-milled slabs, this is what I've got, and at least it's English. Quite hard to find that sort of English stuff. That's all really nice. But what I had was, some of it had some woodworm. So what I've done, I've isolated all the planks that had woodworm and done them all up for my fire, for the house hot tub or whatever, for my family basically. It's just some firewood. And then here's some other ones that were too good to chop up for firewood. So what I'm going to do, I'll put them in this stack. I'm going to take them, just rip them down on the saw next week. Just take all the edges. It's mainly these edges where the bark is, where the woodworm's got in, because the oak's so hard, to be honest. But I don't want, my problem isn't the woodworm inside this. My problem is bringing this woodworm into the yard and, you know, or into the stacks, and then it getting into softer woods, especially the walnut, which is really susceptible to woodworm, or the fruit woods. So I'm going to take that and just rip all the woodworm off, just leave what's left, and then that will go for firewood. So I've been doing that. Now when the grab lorry comes, there's another one of these big oak trees coming. When the grab lorry comes, it's probably about 9 miles away, the farm where I picked up that big tree, which I'll show you. There's another part of it on the top. I've got another one of these coming to the yard, so I'm going to try and do, the grab lorry is going to be pretty expensive, so I'm going to try and get him to come past here, literally on the way, and then get off to the sawmill, collect all of this, and get all of these milled up this month, September, and then, you know, obviously going into the drying process. I'll show you what's going in the shop. So what I've done in there is the cooling table, which is now fully operational. So let's have a look. So finally putting the aluminium sheet on. It's pretty heavy, so I thought I'd give you guys a look at what's going on inside. I'm using this Ecofirm, similar to Celotex, just as a kind of barrier to stop any drips from the storage underneath, and also to insulate this space, to make it a cool space. So I'm going to do some tests on that, on how, you know, how efficient that is, and then feed back to you when it's done. 3 meters by 1.5 meters. And you can see here I've had the aluminium cut, so I can still use this. This will be for my hold down clamps now. So when I'm putting the slabs on, instead of having to clamp around the table, I can slide on the kind of Festool style clamps down the channel, and then hopefully that'll be okay for that. I've insulated underneath now, so it's got its own like cavity. So there'll be more on the pump and the cooling system. As soon as I get it fully tested, I'll be doing a video follow up on that. As always, mega in depth on the Patreon channel, and if you want to go onto there, some really good stuff going on the Patreon channel. There is some new videos going up on there as well. So it is Sunday today. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I've promised my family I'm not going to keep doing the 6-day week. It's crazy. But there's some really good stuff coming up. This is one of the new tables. This is absolutely wonderful. If only you could see it in real life, it's absolutely beautiful. This is ready. Now, if you've been following this and you saw, I was talking about this being, having my cross. I'll show you another picture of one of my tables. It has this kind of diagonal leg system. The client, I did mill everything up for the client. This is all English chestnut to match this. The client changed their mind. They want the same leg design, but they want it in metal. So the metal's on its way. It's a special box section that I use, not an off-the-shelf section. So that's really good. That's really cool. I'm doing something the more mundane we all have to do. I'm building a frame. I've removed some stained glass from this window for somebody. I'm repairing the door and doing a stained glass frame. Tomorrow, Monday, the motor arrives finally for my router table. So I'll be fixing it up next week and doing a little video on that as well. So that's to come very soon. Something over there in the corner. How cool is that? Frank FC Tools has sent me this thing. This is insane. This is like the fastest hinge jig in the world. It's brilliant. I will be doing a video on that very, very soon. I think I've got to make a door for the workshop actually. So I'll be using that. So out here as well. So this is an ongoing project for a kitchen build. This is wonderful sycamore. So this is all ready to be joined to make into worktops for around a Rayburn. But what I tend to do, really good practice actually, this has been in my kiln for a few weeks. I've got it down to about 10 or 11, which is where the house is. But what I like to do is I like to rest that now for a good week. So I've planed it all up, got it milled, I'll rest it for a week. I've gone about 2 mil on over, a little bit more, 3 mil actually on this one, 53 mil, it needs to be 50. So I've got 3 mil to play with. If it has any movement in the next week or so, I'll laminate all that up into like a worktop and then put it through the sander and that will be ready. So I really like that sycamore. Something very exciting, if you're eagle-eyed enough and you look behind me, I'm not going to zoom in on it at the moment. I've got Felder coming on Monday, the engineer, to finish installing this thing. You can have a little look what that is. I'm really excited about it. So you've been following me doing the builds on the various gates. The second one's coming soon. It's already on Patreon, where I do mortise and tenon rather than using domino. The third one is going to be mortise and tenon, but square tenons, because I bought a special machine. I've got a couple of orders for some other stuff, so I thought I'd invest in this really cool Felder machine, so you can have a guess what that is, and I'll talk about that in the next couple of weeks. Okay, that's it.